Hello, ITPC. Joshua Stewart, Pipe Up North. Been a while. I think it's been like 2 months since I put up a video, which I never intended it to be that long. I didn't intend it for it to be a week. But here we are. I think the last video I put up was before Memorial Day. And here we are, middle of August. So, sorry about that. I've been busy. Honestly, just a little bit lazy. So, sorry about that. So, anyway, I'm recording this late Monday night, something like that. Gonna finish this pipe and then go in and go to bed. And I suppose this will come out on Tuesday, so it's kind of a codger and a corn cob. I don't have a tobacco tin to share with you, but got my Country Gentleman that I put the amber bent stem on. And in it, I've got a little bit of some of the last out there Sutliff Virginia slices. I was able to get a couple pounds of that before it's no longer available, but I've been actually enjoying it quite a bit because I've never had. I ordered a couple pounds of the stuff, and I've probably went through well over half a pound since we last made a video. Probably been having a little bit, probably at least one just about every day of that. I found that although there's others that I do like better, and it's really nice. I've been going through a few of the other things too that I've got, and maybe share one of the other ones that I've found that I like recently. Cascadia Vertical Limit. Started building up a few of those in the cellar. It's one of those really, really dense plugs that's kind of hard to cut. You gotta have a good sharp knife, but it's pretty good. Well, I haven't talked to a camera for a while, so I'm having trouble keeping this lit. No, normally that stuff stays lit really good the whole time, but so anyway, what have I been up to? Been working a lot. It was kind of quiet at work, but now it's getting busy again. Been getting up north as much as I can, which is probably averaged every other weekend. Probably not even that much. Maybe a little less than every other weekend so far this summer. Let's say normally this stuff stays lit really good, but might have something to do with talking. So anyway, yeah, haven't died. Nothing's Nothing's wrong. Just kind of life going on. There's a mosquito in here. There's one kind of interesting thing that's been going on. Um, in May, I bought a few seedlings of tobacco and planted it in the garden. I did some last year too. Last year, I think of what did I have, 6 plants or something, 4 or 6 plants that I had, and only one of them made it through the whole season. It only got maybe a foot and a half tall, and I got a couple of leaves out of it. And I actually smoked a couple of leaves here now, probably maybe a month ago, a couple of weeks ago. They actually smoked pretty good. So say I probably only got, and the leaves that I got were not very big, and so they'll go pretty quick. But this year, I think I got nine plants, and 8 of them are still going, and they're probably all about 5 feet tall now and doing good. So I'm gonna I've harvested a few leaves and started drying them already. So I should have a pretty decent harvest of homegrown tobacco that I can do something with. Haven't decided what I'm gonna do with it yet. I'm thinking, since I'm kind of liking how some of these plugs are tasting compared to like a ready rub version of the same thing, I might try to make some plugs. But so yeah, just maybe about once a week I'm harvesting like a dozen leaves or so, whatever seem to be ready, and hanging them up dry. And a lot of them are, I started harvesting the first ones a couple of weeks ago, and they're probably over dry, so I'm going to have to rehydrate them a little bit probably. But yeah, I put them in the attic of the garage here, and it's been kind of, for Minnesota, been hot and humid the last few weeks. So the attic of the garage, if it's 85 degrees outside, it's probably 100 up in the attic of the garage, and still has the humidity. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but they're drying out and looking pretty decent. So we'll see. And I've got one plant that we put a little flower garden over Mitten's grave. I got one plant growing there. It's not getting quite as big as the other plants. It's actually in a box, like a raised bed above his, where we buried him. So I'm thinking I'm going to keep that one special because he was my pipe smoking buddy. And the thought has crossed my mind about saving the seeds from that one and just kind of making a Mittens strain, I guess we call it. It might be a little bit morbid, but not really, because I mean I don't know. I don't know. like I say, some might think it's a little morbid, but I think it's just a kind of a way to honor him. So we did that with, um, we have one other family pet that's buried nearby that we did the same, similar thing, planted a little garden on his grave, flower garden. Hmm. This is I'm going to pause you for just a little bit, and I might actually be done with this pipe, and I'll get another one put up here. So hold tight for a minute. All right, I got the pipe repacked with got some Peter Stockeby, what is it, luxury bullseye flake I got in here now. Been smoking a lot of that lately too, which I like. But anyway, you guys were only gone for a second, not even. It was just a couple minutes. But so yeah, what else has been up to? All kinds of stuff. Um, I'll probably fill you in. Hopefully, I'm not going to be 2 months again before I put out another video. Try to get another one out in a week or so. I don't think I'll get another one out this week because um, me and a friend of mine we're gonna go up north this weekend and do some work on the cabin. And um, cabin, if you were to look at it, you wouldn't really see any progress from where it was a couple months ago. But I've been kind of doing some of the background groundwork so that when he comes up this weekend, we can hopefully get a bunch knocked out. This friend of mine, he actually retired kind of early. He was in his 50s when he retired. He was like a business manager for one of the local businesses in town, for the facility that was in town. It wasn't a huge place, you know, maybe managed a dozen or two employees, but along with getting business and stuff like that. But um, the business he was working for, he'd been working there for years, and it got sold. It was a sole proprietor that sold it to a big corporation, and so they had him as the manager. Then it got sold again, and I don't know what the deal. If he, I think he didn't really like the direction that they wanted to take things, or maybe they asked him to leave because his business or his position wasn't really needed the way that they're. Not sure what the deal was, but he decided to retire. But he definitely didn't want to, you know, just fish and play golf every day. So he started doing this handyman business, and he's set up. He's got the little enclosed trailer with, you know, basically a portable workshop. So he's going to take that up there for the weekend, and um, like I say, hopefully we'll get a bunch of stuff done. Might do a little playing around too, because he's going to bring his 4-wheeler with, so we might hit some of the. There's a bunch of state trails in the area, so we might hit some of those trails for a couple hours one day. Yeah, there's been kind of a lot of weather going on in Minnesota this year. The southern part of the state, where maybe more south central or west central or southwest central, or I don't know how you'd necessarily say it, but they've just had a lot of rain this year. Say where my parents are at. And where I live at here, a little bit north of them, is we've had more rain than average, I guess you could say, but not horrible. I think it's about right as far as the farmers in the area are concerned. But up north, they've had a fair amount of storms. I don't know that there's necessarily been tornadoes, but Bemidji area has, which is not too far from where our spot is at up north. They had, when was it, in June or July? Yeah, it was in June. They had some pretty severe storms come through, and I think I heard that there were like millions of trees in that general area that went down. I mean, some of them were, several foot diameter, just ripped. They had over 100-mile-an-hour straight line winds. I think on the news at one time they were saying equivalent to like a Category 3 hurricane. And there was a storm that came through on, I think it was 4th of July. We were up there, but we were at a friend's house. They rented a condo for the week at one of the nearby lakes. Then we went there and visited them, and on the way back we ran into a storm and had a little bit of damage at our place. Nothing too severe. Worst, I mean, didn't have any trees come down, but we had some branches come down. Neighbor across the road had a tree, great big popple tree, right in his front yard that came down. And there was a resort not too far away, less than 5 miles away, that they had a lot of damage. Probably had over 100 trees on their resort go down, and some of them, fell on cars and campers and caused a fair amount of damage. So I don't know them too well, but some of the neighbors, spoke very highly of them, and I think they probably had, a couple dozen people from the area that came and just kind of helped clean up stuff a little bit. So very close knit people in the area, which is always kind of fun. And it's not fun to have a situation like that, but so anyway. Yeah, so like every day I was thinking, oh, I should share that on the YTPC on the channel. I'm shifting gears here. in case you didn't catch. But usually it'd end up being late like it is now and be tired and like, oh, I don't feel like making a video right now. That happened for over 2 months straight. And when I've been busy with all this other stuff going on, I actually haven't watched hardly any of the other YTPC videos. So I've been really detached from the community, which, here we go, community. Kind of, our YTPC community is kind of like the community at our area up north up there. But anyway, I've not been participating very well in our community. Haven't watched. I could probably count the total videos that I've watched for YTPC since I've made my last video on both hands. Which kind of feel bad about that, but just kind of been focusing other directions lately. But I mean, I'm still having, probably averaging a couple bowls a day, usually in the evening. And every time I went up north, it's like, oh, I got to make a video while I'm up here. It just hasn't happened. And kind of doubt I'll be making a video when I'm up there this weekend. I don't even know if I'm going to have a pipe up there because that friend that I'm going with, he's not too fond of smoking, so I'll probably, if I do have a pipe, it'll probably be if I go on like a morning walk or something by myself in the woods. But so anyway, I've been rambling again here quite a bit. Nothing too important, but anyway, I'm still here, and hopefully I'll be able to get out a couple of videos a little bit more often again. Who knows, maybe I'll even put out a couple in a row. Not too likely, but so anyway, been rambling again. We're well over 20 minutes, so I'll probably call this one here, and yeah, I'll just call it, and we'll see you next time. This is Joshua Stewart, Pipe Up North. Have a good day.